Today we are checking out the Barricade HD off-road rear bumper for the 2020 and newer Sierra 2500 HDs. If you want tougher rear end protection, a cleaner off-road look, and a direct bolt-on fit that uses your factory backup sensors, this is a solid option over that thin stock bumper, so it's definitely worth looking into. The big wins on the features here are going to be the full heavy-duty width coverage and the direct fit design. It replaces the factory bumper using the stock mounting points and hardware, so there's no cutting or any weird brackets required. You keep a tight fit to the body for good departure angles. The openings are set to work with the trucks that have a rear backup sensor, and the style matches Barricade HD's front bumper if you're building a matching set. Most folks move to a bumper like this for better protection against trail hits and parking lot bumps, and a tougher look that doesn't hang too low and hurt your ground clearance. This is a straightforward install that goes right in using the factory mounting locations, and if you stick with me, we'll show you that install just here in a minute. When it comes to the construction on this is formed from very heavy-duty steel plates and finished in a textured black powder coat over an epoxy pre-coat for even more long-term corrosion resistance. The welds are clean and the seams are capped, and the mounting brackets line up perfect with those factory locations, so it sits straight and stays quiet without any rattling over time. It's built to handle daily abuse, worksite duty, and some trail runs without folding like a factory bumper would. As far as the pricing goes, this is going to come in right in the mid $800 price range. For a heavy-duty steel, full-width bumper that's compatible with backup sensors and trail-ready, this is a strong value if you want protection and style all in one place. When it comes to this install process, we're gonna rate it a 2 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, and you can have this job done in 2 hours or maybe less of your time if everything goes smooth. Now let's head on out to the shop, and we're gonna give you a detailed walkthrough of exactly how this install goes.
For this install, you will need various ratchets and impacts, a swivel adapter if necessary, 3/8 and 1/2 inch adapter if necessary, 7, 13, 18, 19, and 21 millimeter sockets, a 4mm Allen socket, a small pry tool, a magnet, a clip removal tool, needle nose pliers, 10 and 18mm wrenches. Alright, today we're going to be installing a bumper on our Sierra, so let's get started. Alright, so to get started, you want to make sure you remove your license plate first with whatever hardware you have holding yours in. Could be Phillips head screws, 10mm screws, whatever applies to your specific tag. Go ahead and pop that off first. Then that'll give you access to these two 13mm bolts we have back here that we're going to need to pull out. So we've got our 13mm socket on our impact. We'll get those two out. Alright, so now we're underneath our rear bumper, and the first thing we're going to need to do is unplug our trailer plug as well as our harness for our tag lights and our parking sensors. The trailer plug is here, the parking sensor and tag light plug is over on this side. We'll show you about that one in a second. So to get this plug out, we're going to pull back on our safety tab. And then we'll press in our connector. Sometimes these are a little stubborn. Pop that out. Alright, so now to get our bumper harness off, we come to our passenger side. We're going to grab this loom with the green stripe on it, come up to our connector. Once again, you want to pull your safety tab back, unplug your harness. I'll just tuck that over here for now. Now we can begin unbolting our bumper from the back side. We've got two 18mm nuts here on our main mounting studs. So we'll get those off first with our 18mm socket on our ratchet. We'll do the same for our upper nut. Now we're going to leave our lower nut on a few threads. Take this upper one off. Now we can remove our 13mm bolt for our outer bumper support bracket. We've got our 13mm socket. Pop that off. And once you got this side loose, we'll do the same thing for the other side, and we can pull our bumper. All right, so now we're back out behind our bumper. Now, if your vehicle is equipped like ours with the rear view and inner trailer camera plugs. You are going to need to pop your trailer plug off of the bumper before we remove this, because you need to disconnect the two camera wire connectors. Now it's kind of hard to see, so we brought it out here, but there are these two clips that you'll need to just push in and your trailer plug will come right out like so. Then you can easily access these from out here. Now we can get these unplugged. So we're gonna be using our pry tool to push down on our connectors right here. Again, you wanna make sure these tabs are pushed back. It's a little bit easier to get to this with a pry tool. But again, you wanna be very careful with your connector. Push down on that. These can be stubborn, so be patient with it. And we'll pop this connector off. Then we can do the same thing for this one and set our trailer plug aside. Next, we'll remove our single wire connector right here in the center of our tag area. Once again, pop this safety tab down, push in on your tab. This one is a bit tricky to get to. Once you got it released, pop that one out, tuck that behind here. And we'll get this connector as well. Once again, push it on your tab, pop that out. Now we can remove our bumper. If you feel you need an extra set of hands for this, go ahead and grab a buddy now, but it's not too heavy, you should be able to get it. All right, so now that we have our bumper off, we've got it up on the table because there is a few things we're gonna need to transfer over to our new bumper setup, i.e. all of our wiring and sensors for our parking sensors, as well as our tag lights and everything basically electrical is gonna go to our new bumper. First thing we're gonna do is pop off our spare tire rod bracket holder. Now you may need your vehicle key to unlock this right here. Ours has already been unlocked, so we're just gonna pop ours out. And we'll set that aside. Next, we're gonna remove our main center sensor assembly. So what is holding this on is three what are called vampire clips. So we're gonna use our needle nose pliers and pinch those so we can pop these through. So I'm gonna come to the center of our clip, pinch that in, and then push that through. We'll support it as we do our last one. Get that out. Now we can set this aside. Next, for our corner sensors, we're going to remove the two 7mm screws holding our bracketry in place with our 7mm socket. We can pull that back carefully. We're going to unplug this. So we'll pop our safety tab back, push in on our tab. We can unplug this assembly. And you can do the same thing for the other side. Next, we can remove our tag light assemblies. These are held in on each side by a single 7mm screw. So we've got our 7mm socket on a ratchet. We'll pop this off. Once you have that out, you can slide your tag light out of its bracket. And we'll do the same thing for the other side. Next, we're gonna unseat our 4 parking sensors. Now you have 2 in the middle by your tag lights and then 2 more out under your main brackets. They are very accessible, just hard to see. What we're gonna do is pull each of these tabs out and then pull straight up on our sensor itself. Carefully get that out of its seat. And we'll do the same thing for the other 3. Next, we'll remove all the clips holding our harness in place. So we've got our clip removal tool. You just want to follow along your harness and remove all of those. Get underneath the clip, pop those out. And you've got some down by your tag light assemblies as well as underneath your reinforcement brackets. So we'll just pop all those out. So we'll go underneath our bracket and just by feel line this up. You can kind of push down on the back side of your tab, help this along. Get this other one as well. Once you got this side freed up, you want to do the same thing on the other side. Now that we have all of our tabs removed, we're going to carefully get each side of our harness out from behind the mounts on our bumper. Now we can remove our main harness. Now you want to keep this in the same orientation when you set it down to where your new bumper is going to lay, so you can put it back right. All right, so now we've got our new bumper up on the table, and we're going to start putting all of our factory stuff we took off onto our new setup. We're going to start in the middle with our sensors and our plugs, and then we'll move on to our parking sensor harness and all that. So we'll start with our center sensor bracketry. That's going to line up with these 3 mounting tabs. Get this in position. Going to push those vampire clips up until they clip into position. Now we're going to get our spare tire insert through. So line that back up, get back in position. Now if you have the camera plugs in your trailer plug like we do, we're going to hold off on reinserting our main trailer plug assembly into our bumper until we get it on the vehicle, because it's a lot easier to plug those in while it's on the vehicle and we have the open space to do so. Now we've got our main harness up on our bumper. We're going to install our tag lights first. So they're going to go into these brackets like so and line up with our threaded insert. We're going to grab one of our provided 4mm Allen head combo bolts. Get that in. We'll tighten that down with our 4mm Allen socket. And we'll do the same thing for the other side. Next, we're going to install our rear light covers, which are our mesh grills that come with your kit. This does have provisions if you want to add lights, you can. However, your kit does not come with lights as is. So we're going to install these. We'll get our cover in. We're going to bolt those in with 2 of our 4mm combo bolts and 2 flange nuts. Set this in place. First bolt loosely in. Get a flange nut on that. Do the same thing for this side. Now we can tighten these down with our 4mm Allen socket and our 10mm wrench. Make sure this stays pretty squared up as you tighten it. And once you have this side in, you can do the same thing for the other side. Now before we can set our parking sensors into place, we need to replace our factory silicone grommet with our provided new stick-on grommet. These just simply pop off. And we'll grab our provided grommet, peel the backing off of that, take the center out of the stick-on portion, stick this in place. Once you have this one set up, you want to do the same thing for the other 3. Now we can install our parking sensor. We're also going to add our spacer to the back side of that. So stick that on. Our sensor into the already installed brackets. Seat those all the way down. Then we can install our cap. It's going to push down and line up with our bracket. And snap securely into place. Once you have your first one in, you can do the same thing for the other 3. All right, so now that we have our parking sensors in, it's time to install our mounting hardware for our bumper. One thing I do want to note is we do not have provisions to mount our corner proximity sensors onto our new bumper, so we are going to lose that, but that's okay. Now we're going to grab our provided mounting bolts. Now for the 25 and 3500s, we're going to use these inner mounting holes on our brackets. So we'll get our bolts through from the backside, and we're going to install our plastic retainer washers just to hold those in place. So we've got our bolt. You're going to need to fish this top one kind of through. Carefully get that lined up. Now you can see we've got our upper bolt almost lined up. It is tough to reach a hand back there, so if you do have a small magnet, this is very helpful. Once you get that through, grab a hold of it. Get this retainer washer started. Get that threaded all the way on. That'll hold your bolt in. We'll do the same thing for the bottom. This one is much easier. And once you have this side on, you can do the same thing for the other side. So this bumper is not going to be utilizing our factory outer support brackets, so we're going to remove those first. So we've got our 21mm socket on our ratchet. We just need to remove the nut and take our bracket off. We'll do that. So we're actually going to use our impact and a swivel adapter with our 21mm socket. Sometimes these nuts are a little stubborn. And once you have this one off, you can do the same thing for the other side. All right, so now we're getting ready to install our bumper. For this, I'm gonna grab an extra set of hands. We're gonna line up our mounting hardware we installed onto our bumper with our factory bumper mounts. And we're gonna go on the back side and get our provided flat washers and lock nuts on that. So I'll grab my extra set of hands, we'll set this in place and get our hardware in. All right, so now that we have our hardware loosely in place, as you can see, we've got our flat washers and lock nuts on. We're gonna grab our 18mm wrench and an 18mm socket on our impact, and we'll bring our 18mm wrench for our bolt heads behind our bracket, and we'll tighten this down with our 19mm socket. Tighten down our other bolt. Once you have this side tightened up, you can do the same thing for the other side. All right, so now we're gonna come underneath the passenger side of our truck and plug in our main harness right back into our factory connector. So line this back up, get that fully seated, lock that safety tab back into place. All right, so now we can come out to our bumper and hook up our trailer plug. It's easiest to do this from outside of it now. What we're gonna do is reach through, get our main plug through here, line this up, get that snapped into place. Now we'll get these plugged back in, make sure they snap back into place. We'll lock those tabs back in. Then we can push our trailer plug into position. Next, we're going to plug our two center sensors back in. Start with this guy. That in, lock our tab in. For this one, it is easier to reach underneath. Get that plugged back in. Next, we're going to install our provided tag mounting squares. They're going to go into these square holes so we can thread our screws in, whatever hardware you use for your tag. Those are just going to pop right into place, like so. And then you can remount your tag with whatever hardware you had on your original tag. Alrighty, that about wraps up our review and install of our Barricade HD off-road rear bumper for your 20 to current Sierra 2500 and 3500 HD. Thanks for watching, and as always, for everything Sierra, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.